He pointed a gun straight at my chest in broad daylight, barking orders like I was supposed to freeze in fear. But what he didn't know was that the man he just pulled a weapon on had spent 10 years as a Navy SEAL. And I don't freeze, I react. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. To understand how any of this happened, how two fake HOA cops ended up pulling a gun on me, you need the backstory. Because this didn't start with a weapon. It started with a woman named Victoria Hale, the HOA president of Briarwood Ridge, who treated the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. From the day I moved in, she didn't like me. Not because I was rude, not because I broke any rules, but because I was the newcomer who bought the last available house near the clubhouse, the one she wanted to reserve for one of her friends. She tried to hide it at first. Fake smiles, accidental comments, all the usual HOA poison coated in sugar. But the moment she found out I was a Navy vet, that sugar turned into battery acid. Suddenly, I was getting warning letters every week. Trash can visible from the road, even though it wasn't. Unsightly activity in the driveway. That activity was me unloading groceries. Suspicious tools displayed in garage. Those tools, a broom and a rake. It didn't take long for me to realize what she was doing. Some HOAs enforce rules. Victoria enforced control. And when people don't bend to her authority, she escalates. The neighbors told me stories, quiet whispers, be careful around her. She's got enforcers she sends around. She'll make your life hell if you don't submit. I didn't believe any of it, not fully, until the morning everything changed. It was a calm Thursday, sun bright, air warm. I just finished a run around the neighborhood, sweat still on my forehead, heart still steady. Not a single thing felt off until I turned the corner toward my house. That's when I saw them. Two men, black tactical vests, boots, holsters, patches reading HOA cop printed in cheap vinyl that was already peeling. They stood in the middle of the road like they had every right to be there. One was tall and bulky, arms crossed, jaw tight. The other was twitchy, the kind of guy who acts brave only when he thinks he has backup. My gut told me everything I needed to know. These weren't cops. They weren't security. They were wannabes playing dress up. I approached calmly. "Morning," I said. Bulky didn't return the greeting. He just lifted his chin and said, "You're the homeowner at 44 Briarwood?" "Yeah," I answered. "Something wrong?" He stepped closer. Twitchy slid to the side, hand hovering near his belt. "We've had complaints," Bulky said. "You match the description of a suspicious male seen casing the neighborhood." I actually laughed. "I live here." That's when Bulky snapped, "Hands up, now." Twitchy's hand flew to his holster, and the gun came out, pointed directly at my chest. Broad daylight, middle of the street. All because Victoria Hale didn't like that a newcomer didn't bow to her fake authority. And just like that, everything inside me went quiet, focused, sharp, because if they thought I was going to stand there and beg, they chose the wrong man. I kept my hands behind my back, fingers wrapped around the grip of my concealed pistol beneath my shirt as I took one slow step forward. Not fast, not threatening, just controlled. The way you move when you've been trained to turn chaos into opportunity. Bulky tightened his grip on the gun. Twitchy swallowed hard, trying to look tougher than he felt. "Hey, I said hands up," Bulky barked, voice cracking at the edges. I tilted my head, calm. "Why? So you can shoot an unarmed homeowner in the middle of Briarwood Ridge? That's not your concern," he snapped. "Oh, it is," I replied. "Because you're not law enforcement. Those vests? Fake. That gun? Probably unregistered, and whatever Victoria promised you isn't worth the charges you're about to catch." Twitchy flinched. Bulky's jaw twitched. He hadn't expected me to call it out. He expected fear, not facts. "You talk too much," Bulky growled. "Turn around and get on your knees." I smiled. "No." Twitchy stepped forward. "Do what he says, man. Don't make this worse." "Worse for who?" I asked quietly. That made them hesitate. It was time. I shifted my weight just slightly, enough to put my right foot back, enough to steady my stance. Bulky didn't notice. Twitchy did, but too late. "Don't," Twitchy started. Bulky aimed. I drew. One motion, clean, fast, final. A single sharp crack split the air as I fired. Bulky staggered back, dropping his gun and crumpling to the asphalt with a scream, clutching his thigh where the round tore clean through the muscle. Non-fatal, disabling, intentional. Because SEALs don't shoot to impress. We shoot to end the threat. Twitchy's eyes went wide. He froze, then lifted his hands slowly above his head. "I surrender," he stuttered. "Don't shoot. Please, please." "Good," I said coldly. "Now, drop the baton." He did. But here's the thing. Guys like him only pretend to surrender. Fear makes them stupid, and desperation makes them dangerous. The moment I took a step toward Bulky, Twitchy lunged. He grabbed the baton he'd pretended to drop and swung it toward the back of my head. Bad choice. I pivoted, caught his wrist mid-swing, and twisted. His scream ripped through the neighborhood as his elbow bent the wrong way. The baton fell and bounced on the pavement. I swept his legs, slammed him onto the ground, and pinned him with a knee to his spine. His ribs gave under the pressure, not snapped, but cracked enough to remind him this wasn't a game. Try that again, I said, tightening the hold, and you'll leave here in 2 casts instead of 1. He whimpered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bulky lay on the pavement, bleeding but alive. Twitchy lay wheezing, arm bent, ribs shot with pain. 2 fake HOA cops, 2 wannabe enforcers, 2 men who thought intimidation would beat experience. But they forgot something. Experience is the one thing you can't fake. I holstered my pistol, stepped back just enough to keep eyes on both men, and said, Now, let's talk about who sent you. Because this wasn't random. This was ordered. And the name behind it? Victoria Hale. And she was about to learn exactly what happens when her little kingdom tries to start a war with a Navy SEAL. If you're enjoying this HOA story so far, like and subscribe, because the story is only going to get better. The moment the second fake HOA cop hit the pavement, wheezing, ribs cracked, arm useless, I stepped back, keeping my pistol trained on both of them. My voice was steady. Don't move, either of you. The one I shot in the leg whimpered, clutching his thigh as blood seeped through his fingers. The other lay face down on the asphalt, groaning, trying to understand how fast a fight can end when you pick the wrong target. I kept them covered with one hand while pulling out my phone with the other. 911. What's your emergency? This is a self-defense shooting, I said calmly. 2 individuals impersonating officers pulled a gun on me. One is shot in the leg. The other is injured but alive. I need police and EMTs. I am armed, legally. I will holster as soon as units arrive. The dispatcher's voice sharpened. Understood. Units en route. Do not approach them further. I stayed exactly where I was, pistol low, but ready, until real authority arrived. The first patrol car slid in with lights flashing. Officers stepped out fast, weapons drawn. I raised both hands immediately. Veteran. Concealed carry. Weapon holstered. I'm the caller. They lowered their rifles within seconds. One officer approached the twitchy guy and flipped him over. Right on cue, the fake badge peeled off his vest and fluttered to the ground like a cheap sticker. The officer shook his head. These guys again? They cuffed both men, one screaming about his leg, the other coughing through broken ribs. Paramedics rushed in. When they cut the pant leg open on the shot guy, one medic said, Clean entry, no artery hit. Whoever fired this knew exactly what they were doing. I didn't respond. 10 years of training speaks for itself. Meanwhile, the officers spread the evidence across the hood of a cruiser. Fake badges. Fake citations. Unregistered handgun. A list of problem homeowners with my name circled 3 times. Paramedics confirmed what I already know. Broken ribs, dislocated shoulder, severe contusions, and gunshot wound. The officer reading the chart looked at me with raised brows. They're lucky you held back. Yeah, they were. When the detectives dug deeper, everything unraveled fast. The 2 fake HOA cops confessed, under pressure, that Victoria Hale, the HOA president, hired them to enforce compliance on homeowners who didn't follow her personal agenda. They admitted she ordered them to get aggressive with me. Victoria tried to deny everything. She failed. The detectives showed her the text messages, the payment receipts, and the hit list they found in her office. Within a week, Victoria was charged with conspiracy, impersonation of law enforcement, harassment, and soliciting violence, sentenced to 4 years in state prison. Both fake HOA cops were charged with aggravated assault, brandishing, impersonation, and unlawful possession of a firearm. They both got 3 years in prison. The HOA board collapsed publicly. State auditors took over the books. Victoria's house went up for sale within a month. As for me, I sat on my porch sipping coffee, watching real officers tow away the HOA signage from the clubhouse. Sometimes justice is slow, sometimes it's loud, and sometimes it arrives in broad daylight, right when a fake cop pulls the wrong gun on the wrong man. What do you think, folks? Did they get what they deserved, or did I go too hard on them? What would you have done if it was you? Let me know in the comments. The end.